To speak well and effectively, as we saw earlier, you need an effective strategy. In other words, you need a strategy that works for you, one, for your audience, two, and for the delivery of your message to the audience. Three, there are three things thus that matter in any conversation: speaking, talking, chatting, or conversational incidents. One, the audience. Two, yourself, the person who speaks. Three, the message, which will be passed from you to the audience through some kind of medium. These three things must be there concurrently for a conversation, communication, chatting, talking, or speaking to take place. If the audience is missing, communication becomes totally irrelevant. If you are not there, then there's no communication, of course. If you don't have a message, the best you can do is just to shut up. You don't communicate unless you have something important, something meaningful to say to people. Amongst these three things, the audience, one, yourself, two, and the message, three, the most important is the audience, as you guess. For you to develop an effective strategy for speaking well, you need to understand the audience reasonably well. You must look at each member of the audience as if you know them reasonably well, even if you don't. And take into account the audience's demographics and dynamics. Consider their attitude spectrum, their bias and prejudice spectrum, their fears, their phobias, their suspicions, their superstitions, and anything related to them. Consider their age spectrum, from the youngest to the oldest. Consider their gender, male, female. Consider also even their beliefs. Consider their expectations. What do they want from you? What do they want most for themselves? How do they look at you as a person and as a speaker? Consider their level of education, their level of understanding, their level of exposure. Once you have considered all these diversity factors and the dynamics and demographics of your audience, then you'll be in a much better position to develop an effective strategy for your message for them than otherwise. Remember, to speak well, you need an effective and powerful strategy. And to do that, you must understand your audience reasonably well. To speak well, understand your audience reasonably well. Develop a reasonable, effective, and powerful strategy. Then deploy that strategy in developing your message and in delivering the message to the people. We'll come to that later. Remember, the audience is the most important factor in any conversation, communication, talking, chatting, or speaking incidents. Remember, the audience matters. Each member of the audience matters to you as the person who wants to deliver a message to the audience. That is key. Remember, peace is key. Always.